Hey everybody, it's Emily, the Crazy Worm Lady. I'm here today to update our urban worm bag. Remember last week we did a giveaway and I added some worms from another one of my systems. So I wanted to peek in and see how they were getting along. And it appears to me that they are doing excellent. This is a piece of burlap I had in my other system. And it looks like they're all wrapped up in it. So let's see what else we got in here. The moisture content feels really good in here, and it is just crawling with worms, which is exactly what I was hoping, is that the system would take off and they would reproduce and all move up to this surface. There's very little dry bedding left. They've worked through it. A couple of people commented how I had a whole lot of bedding in here, but I did that for a reason. This bin was getting started. I wanted to make sure I maintained appropriate moisture, and the best way that I have found to do that is to use a lot of bedding. That way you can adjust the moisture without flooding out the bottom. Look like they're enjoying that apple there. I'm really pleased, and like I said, I'm not seeing very much unprocessed bedding at all. I'm sorry, food. There's some unprocessed bedding, but as far as food's concerned, I don't see any whole food scraps in here at all. That apple core is about all I see left. But when I added the contents of those harvested Rubbermaids, I didn't know if that was gonna add too much moisture content. And right now I do not have a drip tray underneath of this system, and I have not, and I attribute that to all of the bedding that I have in here. Dig down a little bit more in the middle. There's a little bit of bedding down here. And I'll mix this up through the top, because that way they can use that with my feeding I'm going to put in here. Interested to see how these rags hold up. I'm wondering how long they will last. So this is really encouraging. None of this bedding feels dry, but none of it feels too wet either. I think this is the end of a piece of ginger. Wonder how long that will take to break down. I think that was from my soup stock that I put in here. So enough digging around. I'm going to level this off and we will add a feeding. Just found this banana peel in here, and sometimes I get those loaded with springtails or mites, and I'm really not seeing any large numbers of that at all. So far so good. Let's load some food down in here for them. Okay, so I used to do this method a little bit more than I do now. I've learned my lesson. However, I think this system can handle it, but I didn't have any scraps thawed out. So I have a bag here of frozen scraps, but I laid down 2 pieces of cardboard to kind of be a barrier from the moisture. I feel like how my friends label their bags for me. That way it'll absorb the moisture and it'll protect them from the cold until this food falls out. So, again, it's a large feeding. Looks like we have some citrus in here. Looks like leftover kale or something. Banana peels, apple cores. So I think this will be a good combination for them. A little bit of a grape stem. So I am going to sprinkle a little bit of crushed eggshell. Let me grab that here. I'm going to be liberal with it since that's a heavy feeding. And I'm going to throw a little bit more bedding around it because, again, this is going to release a lot of moisture, and I don't want to have the problem that I had a few weeks ago with the moisture running through because of the watermelon I put in here. So let me grab a little bit more of that and we will take it from there. Okay, so I threw a few more rags in here. Like I said, I got a big box of these used dust rags that I just soaked in some vinegar water and then regular water so that they'd be okay for the worm bin. I don't have any shredded cardboard right now, but I do have a giant bag here of shredded junk mail from a friend. So I'm going to put in a nice healthy layer of this. Sorry for the noise. Doing all these things one-handed is not the easiest. But I think the combination of that dry cardboard and those rags and this paper will be perfect. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I might layer a little bit more on when I'm done filming here, but just going to spread this out. And if you can see, we're getting more and more full in here, which is my goal because I definitely want to see if I will be able to harvest some of this as springtime is approaching. So please like this video, subscribe if you want some more content from me. Remember to comment on my videos if you want to be entered in my next drawing, which will be at 500 subscribers. So share this around to anybody you think might benefit from it, and I will talk to you guys soon.